We're live, but I haven't actually started the stuff yet. So there we are. There we are.
Two bald guys and they're talking about hockey. Two bald guys and they're talking about hockey. Two bald guys and they're talking about hockey. Two bald guys talking about hockey. Two bald guys and they're 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 talking about hockey. And they're bald. And there's hockey. Hockey.
Okay, here we are. We are live. I'm gonna leave it to you to talk for a little bit while I give the rest of the league the link to our show.
Every time I hear that song, and at the end where they yell "Enderbald," cracks me up every single time.
Oh yeah,
So
yeah. No, that's my brother-in-law, man. Like anyone who does podcasts or whatever, and they want music, talk to him. He's amazing.
Yep. Thank
There
you
you
very
go.
much. What's his name again?
Dan Loach.
Dan. Thank you very much.
Yes. And he's a professional musician, studio musician, and like he has a studio in his basement, and that's what he does. So he's a drummer, and he got
Oh,
his buddy to just do it, and they didn't spend 6 hours writing lyrics. I will say that. But yeah, no, it's I've tried to talk him into doing that professionally because
yeah.
there's lots of podcasts that have shit music and there's at least one guy who watches this podcast who has his own podcast who
Hey,
might want to get some intro
aren't we
music.
almost to 20 people now that have subscribed to our podcast?
Yes, I talked Matt Waters into being a subscriber this week. He's the latest new subscriber. We
So
are up to 20.
20. Again, it's a shame that we're not over 32 because
We should
we
be
have,
over 30.
yes,
Like we should
over
be
32
over
because
30.
I'm subscribed and you're subscribed.
Yes.
So we should be over 32. It's a shame that we have some owners that are not subscribed.
And we had 49 views on our last video, Jeff. So we're getting
Mhm.
people to watch. We're getting lots of people to watch who aren't subscribing. So shame on you.
Yes.
And what's really interesting is we get people watching who aren't even in the DCHL for some
I
reason.
know.
Like I like we're showing up on other people's like just random
It's
suggested lists. So yay us.
yay. We're gonna be
Yeah,
famous
pretty soon I'll be quitting my job and doing this full
full
time.
time.
I'll be raking in the millions of dollars.
Yes. Because we're just that good.
We're that good. You can tell by the awesome intro that takes me like 10 minutes to set up because I have the
Well,
skills.
at that point we'll be able to hire somebody like Matt Waters to be our
Yeah,
technician,
I'm sure.
our, our tech
Uh,
guy.
yeah, it might cut into our salary that we get from YouTube. So I
Okay,
don't
we'll be
know.
making millions of dollars, so we'll be good.
Yeah, I'm not going to wait on that. So we are talking today about the Atlantic Division.
Yeah.
Sorry, I
Preview.
just thought of this. We probably should talk about the one big thing that went up last week, which was the death, the untimely death
Oh,
of
Johnny
Jonathan
Gaudreau
Gaudreau
and his brother.
and his brother.
Yeah.
His brother, they were there for a wedding, and his
And their
brother's wife is
younger
pregnant.
sister's wedding
Yeah,
the night before
just
happened
horrible.
to get hit by a drunk driver. Yeah, that's awful.
And the shit luck that Columbus has had the last few years. They lost a goalie a few summers ago,
Yeah.
and now this. So
Yeah.
I mean,
It's
very sad.
our thoughts are going out to the Gaudreau family.
for sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, now that that's, I guess, out of the way, like, I don't know, I just wanted to say something. The Atlantic Division.
Before we start, I have a message from the commish because I misread the message that he sent out when he posted it.
As did I.
GM required housekeeping. So can I ask every GM, and if you are watching, please pass on the message that we are the commissioner would like us to respond to say I'm good, or even if you don't have any issues with your teams, your um your
I
future
just said I'm good.
your futures is good, your rosters are good, and your salaries are good.
Yep.
Okay. So
We need people to do that. Like I'm like you, I sort of interpreted it as unless if you have a problem.
let me know.
And I'm hoping that Ian would know that if there was a problem, he would have got a message from me 30 seconds after there was a problem, because I'm that guy.
So, and I already messaged him because I thought that there was a problem, but there was no problem. So,
Okay. So yeah, just if you're good with your roster, let Ian know or comment in that post that I literally just did as Jean was telling us to do this. And I mean, take a look and make sure, but I think they did a pretty good job of getting most things right. So,
yeah. So,
but there's always little clerical errors that sometimes happen. So
mhm.
make
So,
sure.
so we're gonna go division by division, starting by the Atlantic Division this week, and then Metro, then the Central, then the Pacific. Correct? Over the
Yes.
next 4 weeks. So we're going to go over each team in a division by in order of not where we think the team is going to finish, just where they're listed. And we're going to talk about their payroll, their financial situation, the roster, including the salary structure, the depth chart, and the futures. Just go over each team by team. So that's why we're going to go one division at a time.
Sort of an in-depth look at the teams, and then I guess at the end we'll kind of go over where we think teams will rank maybe this year in the division.
Yep.
And then after we're done all the divisions, we'll do one where we sort of compile like a league-wide standings maybe or something along those lines.
Yep.
Cool.
One prediction show in 5 weeks.
Yeah. So I have Boston up ready for us to look at.
Before you move on, I just noticed that as I opened the page earlier today. Look at how much cash he has.
I saw that today. Like, was there like somebody robbing Boston?
Well, he spent a lot of money during free agents and frenzy. So,
Well, and remember a couple of weeks ago when we talked, we kind of said Seattle, if they don't make the playoffs, they're in big poo-poo. Hey, Boston, you don't make the playoffs, you're in big poo-poo.
Yeah.
Like, wow, they could be 5 to 10 million in the hole.
Yeah. So just we can put it out there. Approximately how much cash should you have to start off the season if you don't think you're going to make the playoffs?
Well, if you're a salary cap team and you don't make the playoffs, unless they adjust the amount of money you make per game, it's going to get worse as the salary cap goes up, right? And I believe last year you made, like, I made around $77 million in revenue. And my team was around there most of the year, maybe a little bit higher than that, because I was up closer to the cap most of the year.
Mm-hmm.
So, and I, with making the playoffs, I kind of made a little bit of cash. Like I came up a little
So
bit of a plus because I had 3 home games and I got my RFAs in early, so I got the 2 million there. Like, but I didn't make a huge profit on the year. Like
so
and that's with the maximum number of home games in a one round of the playoffs. If I hadn't made the playoffs, I would have lost about $6 million, $5 million.
so if you don't make the playoffs, you're gonna make about $70 million.
77 million
No, but
if you're a middle of the road team.
if you did the 77 million that was without your playoff money? Or
Yeah,
did
that's what I made in season.
okay. So you're gonna make 77 million. Let's round it off to 75 million.
Yep.
The salary cap is at 83.5 million. So you're gonna be $8.5 million short if you don't make the playoffs.
If I don't make the playoffs, I'm 8.5 million short.
Yeah.
I've got about 30 million in cash right now, I think, like somewhere in that neighborhood. I haven't looked. We'll see today. But
So
I'm not losing my franchise. Boston and Seattle could conceivably lose their franchise if they don't playoffs. Conceivably.
So Boston at $57,000 in their bank account needs to make trades that include the money, they receiving money, and needs to make the playoffs.
Well, and the other thing is, do they have RFAs? And yes, they do. Dylan Strome, he's going to need to have the cash for these RFAs when RFA time comes. So, like, I don't think people realize. I think that's one of the things that Zach was surprised to learn was that his team needs to make money.
Yeah. So the RFAs again, that's on top of your $82.9 million, your $83 million if you're Boston that you're gonna spend. It's because that's the signing bonus that you're gonna give for Dylan Strome and for Samuel Montembeault.
Well,
as
I
you're
mean, he
talking to
could
RFAs,
conceivably not give them any signing bonus.
but then their salary is going to be higher next year.
Exactly.
So,
and he's eventually going to have to pay them anyway.
yeah.
So
Just
good luck. Good luck.
This is why I like to talk about this, because these are things that people don't think about or don't know, right?
Yeah. Well, we're entertainment, but we're educational.
Yes.
So we're edutainment.
So do we want to go over
Yeah. Do you want to do let's do team future first, because that'll be the shortest part. Yeah. I mean, he does have guys that are on this list.
There's not a lot there.
There's nothing here that's of any real value.
So I looked at it and I'm like, hey, just don't want to trade anything for those guys. So
I've heard of a couple of them.
Yeah. So, and next year, Logan Couture is going to be on his team. So that's something else that Nathan needs to keep in mind.
Yep. And he'll be whatever his NHL cap hit is. And I suspect that'll be a big one. So
yeah, it's over $8 million.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, okay, let's not talk anymore about his features. He's got nothing really of value. Like, he has those are last year's 4th round picks.
Yeah. So he's
He
got two
actually make
sevens.
picks this year? No, he traded them.
No. He trades them. I bought one of those two picks.
Okay. So his roster or his finance?
His finances.
There we are.
Marchessault, Tavares, and who else did he buy in free agency? I think those are the only two
Well,
guys.
he traded for Carlson, I think, during free agency or right before it.
Yeah, he traded for Carlson, but he bought Marchessault and Tavares.
Yeah,
And
I think the Carlson
Colton Sisson.
trade is like, I don't know why you would take the Carlson contract.
He was desperate for defensemen. If you look at it as his defenseman, he had McAvoy, Zadorov, Oli Mata, and Josh Brown.
Well, when we get to his depth chart, we'll talk about his D. But I'm just going to say at this point, not impressed.
For the Dino.
Yeah.
So his forwards are pretty good. I think he's got some decent forwards, but for his contract, he doesn't have any bad contracts that I can say. Like Carlson is high, but he's your number one defenseman.
I just find it handcuffs him.
Yes, it does.
Because it's also 4 years.
But that's the cost of having a number one defenseman.
But is he going to be a number one defenseman in 4 years? In 2 years?
No, he won't. He won't be. But I think he's banking that John Carlson is not going to be around in 3 years or 4 years.
Okay.
I think he's like, I'll pay my tax later.
Yeah. Well, and maybe at that point he's planning a rebuild anyway. So, the way Nathan works, he's traded Carlson 7 times since then.
Yes. So I think he'll worry about it later.
Yeah.
So
but
then there
are good players on this team. There are good contracts.
Yeah. But he's gonna have next year. He's gonna have to pay the Strome, Marchessault, Montembeault. I mean,
yeah.
Logan Connor, not really.
Well, did Montembeault get paid? Like, is he? I don't know that he's going to have a big NHL contract, does he?
I'm not sure.
Like I'd be surprised if he's making like big dollars in Montreal.
I'm looking quickly.
Okay, while you're doing that, I'm just going to flip over to his depth chart. And I mean, thank you for doing this, Nathan. This is much appreciated.
Yes.
It makes our job much easier.
Montembeault,
and I like your top. Sorry, go ahead.
Montembeault's salary's at $3.1 million
Okay, well that's what I would have expected.
Like it's an affordable contract.
Yeah. I do like his top line.
Yes.
I don't hate his middle six. His fourth line's okay. Like I don't hate his lineup, but where
he's got some depth also, right? Because he's got McCarron and Wood
and Hinostroza.
Yeah, so he's got some depth at forward.
But his D is pretty that's a pretty weak top 6.
Yeah, he's got. I like his top 3. It's 4, 5, 6 that are pretty weak. He needs help there.
Well, and I guess it'll be if he has no injuries. Like if Carlson doesn't get injured this year, he gets all 82 games in, then that's a real plus for him. But if he gets into injury problems, like where Carlson's out or McAvoy's out for 20 games, that could really hurt his lineup.
So
Again, at forward, it's not as big of a problem. He's got some guys, and his depth is pretty good at forward.
yeah, I like his forwards. And Nathan has put on the site a few times that he was looking for defensemen. So
Well, he doesn't have a lot of cap space, if I remember.
now he's got about $500,000
Yeah.
in cap
So
space.
like he'd have to be trading out a forward and getting in a defenseman, and
Mhm. Yeah,
those trades hard. I find those trades are A, hard to do, and B, don't necessarily work. So
yeah. Do you want to go down so we can see his goalies, his depth of goalie?
his
Uh,
goalies are okay. Like I don't.
so I
If his
like,
team struggles this year, it's to me it's injuries and it's his defense.
yes. And goalies. I think they're good, but they're not going to carry your team. They're not going to hurt you, but they're not going to carry your team. So, but I like Brandon Bussey as a third goalie. I think he's got a little bit of future there.
I think Bussy will be an NHL goalie
Yeah.
in a few
Is he going to
years.
be just a backup or, a good
Well,
back?
He's Boston's third goalie right now,
Yeah.
and I mean I can see him being Boston's number two goalie in a few years.
Yep. So it's his biggest weakness is depth at defense.
For sure, for sure. Although
Anything
he seems to have Mason Lorien instead of Ian Mitchell, which is totally a Nathan. I love the Boston Bruins thing. So we'll see. Like we'll see how it works, but I'm not sold. I'm not buying stock on the Boston Bruins this year.
No, no, neither am
Okay,
I.
next team or anything else?
He's gonna be in a battle to make the playoffs this year.
Okay, Buffalo or
Buffalo, Buffalo.
Buffalo. Okay. Buffalo, another cap team, like right up there,
Yeah,
139,000. He's got 25 million, so Ian's got lots of money.
yeah.
Where do you want to go? Depth,
Let's
future?
go future.
He's Alexander Nikishin. He's banking on him.
Yeah, he does not want to trade him.
Well,
Not at all.
and that's a buy low, sell high, right? Like he
Yeah,
drafted him,
yeah.
and he's not going to get first round draft pick out of him right now. But I have heard that he might be coming for the end of either this season or next season.
I heard it's the end of this year.
The end of this year coming up.
His contract ends at the end of this year, and usually Russians are that playing the KHL force their players to play in the World Championship, and since the Russians are right now, as of this show, are not allowed to play in any international hockey events, so he
And that
could
does not
come
appear to be
over in
changing.
April.
Yeah. So, okay. And he's Carolina. He's a
Yeah,
Hurricane.
yeah.
So, yeah, no, that would be interesting. That would
Is
be
there anybody
interesting.
else at the bottom?
Well, he's got Cone Zimmer, who some people like a lot more than me. Nikolai Kovalenko, I think, will be playing this year. He'll be rated at the end of this year.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yep.
played in the playoffs last year for Colorado.
So,
Uh,
and yeah, that's about it.
yeah, he doesn't have a huge
He
amount
always
of
banks on older players. So
yeah. Although we
so
got a few this year that were the younger ones. And he
no.
has what's his face's brother, the boy that was traded to Edmonton from Buffalo.
Carter Savoy, but Carter Savoy
Yes.
is now playing in Europe. He signed in
Oh,
Europe.
wow.
He
I
he
didn't.
got okay. I'm not sure if it was related or not, but pretty much at the same time as Matthew Savoy was traded to Edmonton, Carter Savoy was not signed by Edmonton as an RFA, and he went to Europe. So family dinners could be
A little awkward.
that's the word I was looking for.
Wow. Okay. Well, that's cool.
So he traded his first round pick next year.
Who did he trade it to?
Me.
Oh, for what?
The Drake Batherson
Oh, okay.
deal. I got this 32 first and Miramanov.
Oh, you got 2 first-round picks in that?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah. I gave him, I can't remember, I gave him a 4th or something like that.
Cool. Okay,
Yeah.
so finances.
Finances.
I will say this: Ian's done a good job with contracts.
Yeah.
I think the Blake Coleman, that's a little more than I would want to pay, but
yeah. Ekholm, I think, is worth the 9.5. Hyman, when you have a player that helps you win the Stanley Cup in your league, and then he scores like 54 goals, you want to keep him.
oh, I love the Hyman deal. I wasn't a huge fan of the Ekholm one. It worked out well for him last year, so maybe I was wrong.
Yeah.
Timo Meier.
I think that's good.
Yeah.
You've got some good contracts there.
Yeah. Shesterkin's only $6 million. Oh
yeah.
My God. That, like, if there's a $10 million goalie in the league, that's it.
Yeah. So
and he's with Buffalo for 5 years. I don't see Ian trading him for what.
Oh, I've spoken to him, and he's another guy that he will not trade away.
Yep. Good.
So.
Good. Okay, so next will be the depth chart. And Ian's another one. Thank you for doing your depth chart. You're a good GM. I think Ian has probably the best top 6 forwards in the division. I think he's got a really good offensive group. I think the problem starts, and even his top 6 is really good on D.
Yeah.
And his goaltending is amazing.
I think his bottom 6 is where he struggles. It's not as good as he used to be.
Well, what I was going to say, and I mean, this is where we might disagree, and this is cool if we do.
Mm-hmm.
I think in the past, Ian's lineup, excuse me, has had really good top, and then it sort of melded down into a really good 4 lines. And I think this year, the top line isn't as good, and it's still compacting down into those bottom lines, which aren't any better. He just doesn't have, like, it doesn't have that
really high end. He doesn't have Malkin anymore. So to me, like, where Ian's team is not as good is at center.
I mean, Timo Meier, your number 1 center. That's not.
Nicholas Roy is not a number 2 center, and Ryan Poehling is not a number 3 center, and Max Pacioretty is not a center. So
it will be interesting to see how Zach Hyman does with Timo Meier as his number 1 center, as opposed to Zach Hyman playing with Connor McDavid, who scored 50+ goals this year.
Yep. So I think that's where is not as good, but to me, he's definitely a playoff team.
I think so. I think his team is definitely a playoff contending team. Like, be very surprised if he didn't make the playoffs. But I just don't think I'd be as surprised as in previous years. Like, I think his team is a little bit softer than previous years.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Okay, so where are we going now?
Detroit.
Detroit. Lots of
Yeah.
cash, lots of
Lots of
cap space.
cash, lots of cap space. So he's won't have any cash problem. So
But he also won't be probably acquiring a lot of playoff revenue either.
no, I don't see Detroit making the playoffs.
So okay, we'll go team
Future,
future. Some good some good future here. Caden Lidstrom probably is the one that stands out the first to me.
yeah, Alec, good defenseman. Uh, Kirby Dack is going to be a really good forward that's going to add to his team next year. So, and Ryan Leonard, Shane Wright. So next year, Detroit should add Wright, Dack for sure to his team.
Well, we'll see. Like, I really want to see how Shane Wright does this year. Like, I, I think they're gonna. I would believe that he's going to start off in Seattle.
He was a point of game player in the playoffs.
Yeah, he did
One
really
of
well in the AHL play.
the guys that brought Coachella to the finals, and I think they won the AHL, right?
Did they?
If they
I know
didn't,
they
they were
were
in the
playing.
final.
They were playing the Washington affiliate.
Yeah, Hershey. I can't remember who won.
Well,
I'm sorry,
that's
listeners.
okay. Yeah, we're. Sorry, sorry for not keeping up on the AHL finals.
AHL.
Yeah.
So,
But yeah, I think there's some good depth here.
yeah, he's got some.
And hopefully next year, we're better. It's just
Yeah.
I think he's going to have the same problem with cap, having to buy players.
Yes.
I will go to finances next. Brent Burns, 1 year, 15 million. We'll see if he makes it the whole year.
Panarin, Fleury, Zuccarello.
And then a whole bunch of nothing.
So he's going to have to pay Byfield next year.
Yeah, and Byfield got a good contract, right? Like,
Yeah, he's going to be a $6 million player at least.
Yeah.
So
Protas, I don't know. I don't know if he's
he's a minimum salary. Like the rest of his RFAs right now that I see. Does he have any at the bottom of the RFAs that?
Yeah, no.
His farm
These
team?
guys, nobody of consequence.
No.
Like
So
Braden Tracy, I don't know how much he's not going to make much.
no.
So yeah,
So,
no, the big one's going to be Byfield. We'll see, 6 million. You'll have lots of cap space again next year.
yeah. We'll see if he
Okay.
bids in on one year players again with no depth chart.
Yeah, I don't think he. Oh, he did do his depth chart. Good boy. Good job, Trevor.
Thank you very much, Trevor. One of our shows, I want to talk about, do a show on how to go from being a rebuilding team to a contending team.
Ending team.
So, because we have a lot of teams that are in that spot, right? How do you go from? Do you wait 6 years for all your prospects to go? I just drafted 5 guys in the first round. Do I wait 4 years for those 5 guys to pan out?
See, and I don't think that's the way to do it.
But I think that's one of the things we need to talk about in one of our shows during the season.
Like I think have a couple years of pain and misery, but like I don't think you need to tear the whole thing down. Like I think what Gage did last year in Washington was a little bit excessive.
Yeah.
But okay, so
Detroit.
like honestly, his top line is great.
Yep. But
And
the
then
problem is Zuccarello is gone next year. So when he's got Byfield that is coming on, Jack Quinn, if he can stay healthy, is coming on. Dylan Gunter had a good rookie season last year, and Utah is going to be better. So
but look at the D.
Carson,
Like, look at this D. This is Brent Burns playing with a whole bunch of guys who aren't in the NHL.
no. So
Like, what's he see? The thing is, what's he going to do next year for his team? If his forwards are better, which they will be,
Edvinsson is going to be better.
okay?
Zellweger is going to be better because he should, if he's not in the NHL, he's going to be really close to being in the NHL. Yorhi Arju
You'll see
should,
Hardy. He'll be about the same.
yeah, he'll be the same. He won't be much better.
He's like a third
Budzik
pairing guy.
should be better next year. So he'll walk in with four
Bottom pair defenseman.
bottom pairing defensemen. So, but if you consider that next year is he's gonna have to replace Zuccarello, you're gonna add Shane Wright, Kirby Doc to that team, to that group of forwards that are all going to be just as good or better. I think what he needs to do next year is get two defensemen, and can't be Brent Burns for 1 year. It's two defensemen that you're going to keep for many years.
I think so. Yeah. And
That's
he's just
what I
got to
think.
watch that he doesn't do like a John Carlson contract with both of them, so that
Well,
he can't.
He will have to.
But then 3 years down the road, when Simon Edmondson's getting paid, you're hoping that you can fit everything in. Like
Yep.
You just got to be careful, is what I'm saying.
Exactly. You can't get two of those, but you might have to get one of those.
Yeah. Okay.
And his goalies?
His goalies are Marc-Andre Fleury and a schlub who you're hoping that you're playing one of the 17 games.
Yeah. So,
or if Fleury goes down for an extended period of time, it
and
will
he needs
just
a
get
goal.
ugly.
So
Yeah.
he has no goalies.
Because Olivier Rodrigue, he's got to be a middle of the road AHLer at best.
Yeah.
I've never heard of him. So, and I scout AHL goalies a lot. Okay, so Floride,
Yes. Well,
8 million,
I know.
and you're at 78 million, John.
I'm gonna have to do some work.
You're gonna have to do some work,
Yeah.
get some money, or shed some cap or something.
Yeah.
Anything you want to say?
I know.
You want me
I'm
to
gonna
do
have
it
to
all?
do some work.
Okay, I'll go to
Future?
Team Future. I mean, this team is basically building up pretty well for the future. I mean, I've said it a few times. I like a lot of the guys you drafted this year. You have Dickinson, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like Dickinson. So, I mean, Salayam Dickinson, your decor is going to be really good.
I just need to be patient.
Yeah, you just need to be patient. That's like a mantra that some people should be saying to themselves every
I
day.
just need to be patient. But this is again what I wanted to talk about, because at one point I'm gonna have to trade some of my futures to get immediate help. And the question is when and how much. I'm just gonna leave it at that
Well,
as a
let me
well,
just say one thing on it.
yes.
What they do in the NHL is very rarely do they trade the guy that's just about to come out.
Yeah.
They're going to trade the guy like Like I'm just looking at Casper Haltonen.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I think you know that I like Casper Haltonen. I think you know that.
Yep.
But he's a guy in Finland. I'm sure he's playing in Finland this year.
No, he's either he's in North America. Like he played in London last year. He's either going back to London or going to play in the American League. He's
Oh,
not going
really?
back home.
Okay. So then let's talk about Lenny Himinahu or
I mean, Aho.
Aminahu because
Yeah.
he's playing in Finland.
Yes.
So like I would that's the guy I would trade. Like again, another good Finnish player,
Mm-hmm.
the lawnmower man, I believe.
Yes, he is.
And like I think he's a guy you trade as a future because he's going to come to the NHL. He's going to play in the NHL. Like I have
Mm-hmm.
very little doubt of that. His trajectory is very good. So
Yeah.
that's what I say. It's just those
But the
guys that
thing
are just
is,
below that.
his value is not as good as it could be right now. So for me to trade him now, I'm
Would
not
be
going to
point.
get anything for him.
Yeah.
That's
I
one
can't
of the
believe
things
they
that
don't
we
have
need.
Juha Jatkola on Dauber. Are you kidding me?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
ridiculous.
I check every few months, and
I'm
last
checking right
time
now.
after the season, after
God.
the
What a,
he's yeah.
he wasn't a nobody goalie. He was a freaking amazing goalie. He had like
Yeah.
ridiculous numbers the year he got drafted.
Well,
Okay, so we'll go to your
my team, my
no, your
finance.
finances. Sorry, finances. Again, like Ryan O'Reilly, you're gonna have with you for a while. Like I don't, I'll bet you don't trade him. You
Unless I
don't
get a
trade
good
him
deal.
this year.
No, I'm the reason why I signed him is because look at my team next year. Kuznetsov is now in the KHL, and he's playing with Demidov, by the way. So that's 8.6 million off my salary cap next year. Josh Anderson, 5.6, gone. Ekman Larson, 4.5. Brendan Gallagher, 4.2. Jack Campbell, 2.7 million. Okay, and if you go down,
How far
another
down?
$11.6 million in retained salary off my cap.
Oh, okay.
So I'm gonna have like $39 million in salary next year with Lixell and Gasterlik looking for new contracts.
You'll have lots of cap space.
I'm gonna have like some like $50 million in cap space next year.
See, and that's maybe a year you start signing some guys.
Yeah, but I only have $8 million in salary in cash. So that's why Ryan O'Reilly is going to like that's why I signed him. I was looking for somebody like that I could play for the future. So
Okay, and depth chart, decent top line, not a great one, but a decent one. And I think you just like, I mean, I think it's funny you have Shane Pinto on your third line. Just, I would have thought that he'd be higher up on your depth chart, but I
yeah,
guess they didn't rate Shane Pinto probably fairly either.
no.
So, but I mean, this isn't a shit team. Like this is not a I'm struggling to lose team. Like this is a decent
So
your your top 60 like after like you're weak at D.
okay, so here's my understand what things I don't understand. Okay, Rasmus Sandin was definitely a top four defenseman for Washington last year. Was playing like 22 minutes a game, and he's getting an 80 rating. Nico Mikkola was a top four defenseman on the ice in the last minute of the ice of the game for the Stanley Cup champion Florida Panthers, and his rating is 78. I have a hurt like I
But we
thought,
could do this. We could do an entire show on this,
I
John,
know,
because
just,
there's so
I'm
many of these
ranting.
examples.
I'm
Jack
ranting.
Quinn, who you mentioned, is rated the same as JJ Paterka. And if you've seen those two guys' first 2 years of professional hockey, there's no comparison between the two of them. They
No,
should not anywhere near be rated anywhere near each other. Paterka has been head and shoulders above Quinn. Now Quinn's
well,
been injured, but
Paterka scored 25
25
goals at
goals.
50 points
Yeah.
or close to that. Jack Quinn, who I love, I think he's going to be an awesome player, but he's been injured. So I don't even think he's played 25 games last year.
So
So,
it's like there's so many examples of this in the
yeah.
league. We talked about
So,
Jamie Alexiak being rated the same as Jacob Chikrin.
don't
Now you
understand that.
tell me the GM in this league that wouldn't trade Jamie Alexiak straight up for Jacob Chikrin. Like,
Doesn't make any sense.
doesn't make any sense. So
So,
anyway,
goalie,
your goalie's Freddie Anderson, and like early in the season, if Jonathan Quick is struggling, you may be getting a phone call. Like I I'm not lying.
yeah, I lucked out.
Yeah,
I will tell
for
you,
sure.
I lucked out.
The cards fell in your favor.
Yeah.
So for sure. But yeah, no, this is okay. Like you're not gonna be a like a 45, 50 point team. You're gonna be
Yeah.
70, maybe even 80 points with this team. Like if you're trying to be top 10 pick, I don't know. You're gonna be struggling to be a top 10 pick here.
No, I won't. I don't think I will unless I decide, but the situation I'm in, I think I just continue to have my players develop, like Pinto uh, and Tippett and Rasmussen and then my three defensemen that I mentioned, you know, I think those guys continue to develop, and then that's it. That's all.
Well, how long until like Salayev might be a while, but Dickinson's in the NHL in 3 years at max.
I
Like
think Dickinson, like next year, is going to make the NHL. Remember, he got drafted by San Jose, and he's going to graduate from the OHL. I'd be shocked if they sent him to the AHL.
well, he's still with London this year, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh,
So,
excuse me. Okay, so Montreal,
Montreal
moving on to
Canadiens.
Montreal. Sorry?
Montreal Canadiens.
Yeah.
Again, another team that needs to acquire some cash.
Well, it appears to me he's over the salary cap too right now.
Yeah, but look at his as he's made a trade, and that is not part of this. That hasn't been approved yet. He acquired Cole Caulfield, or no, he traded Cole Caulfield, and for Zegras and picks and futures. So
Okay. Well,
so let's go to the futures.
the big one, right?
Seneke, did you hear? He broke his foot. He's out 6 to 8 weeks.
Celebrini?
It's Beckett Seneke. Broke his foot while training. So he yeah, that
I
was
did not hear that.
this weekend.
I did not hear that.
Yeah.
That's
He's
interesting.
I think he's got a lot of really good futures. Seneke, Barlow, Geeky.
I think he just didn't have defenseman. Like Oliver Bonk is
Yeah.
I think it was
Gabriel
defenseman.
Eliasson.
What's that?
Gabriel Eliasson.
Oh, did he trade for him?
He's got no. Yeah, I guess he did.
Did he? They really give him a 2? Oh, that's so funny. He was
So,
Calgary's. What happened there?
yeah, I guess they made a trade.
Wow.
So, he's got Mettinen, Ogren, like Celebrini, Wood, Bonk. Like he's got a lot of good players in his futures.
He's like,
So
to his credit, and we'll talk
so
about his rest of his lineup in a second here, but
and I think this is a guy that with the rest of his lineup, I think he needs to start to look at potentially trading some of his futures for immediate help. Like,
yep,
and I'm not talking about trading Beckett Seneke for an expiring contract. I'm talking about
no.
trading for a guy that has 4 or 5 years left uh, on his deal minimum.
Maybe trading Gabriel Eliasson for an expiring contract.
So
Okay, let's look at his finances.
salaries.
Barzal is coming up. I'm pretty sure that'll be a big RFA signing.
Yeah.
But he's got he's got it, like he's
Good
done well.
contract.
Like Scheifele, the big ticket, but it's also Mark Scheifele, and it's only 3 more years,
And he's the number 1 center, right?
yeah.
So, but yeah, he's traded Cole Caulfield. I don't understand that one. Like if you've got a potential 40-goal scorer and you traded him. So
All right, yeah, I'm just checking to see what's going on here. Okay. Yeah, no, he's done well. He's done
yeah.
well. Cole Caulfield, I don't know. Do you know the content of the trade? Like what he got in return?
Just give me a second here. Caulfield for Zegras, Calgary's first with conditions and a second rounder.
Oh, is this the
Don't know which
first round
one.
pick that's like 3 years away or something?
I'm not sure. It's just he said a second rounder.
Wow.
So
I I don't know that I'd be trading Cole Caulfield after the last couple of years.
yeah. So Caulfield got like I don't know. To me, it's he got a potential 40-goal scorer. And this is coming from me that doesn't believe in 5'8" players. So
Yeah. Well, he's got a guy that's like 6'5" or something that plays on his line and does all
yeah,
the banging.
the heavy lifting.
But yeah, no, this is good. This is good. This is how it should be, folks.
Yeah,
Detroit, maybe give Montreal a call, buy him a coffee.
yeah. Good
Okay,
job,
and then
Eric.
we'll depth chart.
Because he wasn't there, eh? So he didn't set up his depth chart. But if we look at his team and his forwards, he's got some decent forwards there.
Keithley, Barzal, and Pajot top line, and then, or I would have. Well, he doesn't have Caulfield. I guess he'd put Zegras on the top line,
Yeah.
and then like Pajot, Yarncroc, Mason
McTavish.
Kyle Okposo,
He's got
Heinen.
Carlson coming up. Like
Yeah, like there's like this is going to be a team that maybe even next year.
Yeah.
Maybe next year is leading the division. Defenseman, not a bad top 6.
Like
I mean, the bottom pair.
His top 4 is really good. He needs help on bottom pair, but I think he's in good shape for the top 4.
Yep. And the bottom pair is the easiest to solve.
Well, look at that. He's got an all-star goalie as a starting goalie.
Oh yeah, Tristan Jarry. That's right.
He's going okay. How are you going to want to like just punch your screen if you see Tristan Jarry have an all-star season in the DCHL?
It will annoy me, but like the reality was that I knew he wasn't going to do it for me no matter what.
So you moved on.
I moved on. Like it's like if you have an ex-girlfriend that's dating another guy, you're like, good for them.
You move on. Yep.
Good for them. I don't care. Like,
yeah.
Like Like he was just so bad for me that it
Let's
just
move
made no
on.
sense.
Yeah.
So I wasn't going to go there. If it's Jonathan Quick again that's bad like that, I'll start to think it's me.
Okay,
It's not
I
them, it's me.
don't, Steve, I would not base that Jonathan Quick. Like, yeah,
Thing
don't base
is,
it on Jonathan Quick. He used to be good like 8 years ago.
yeah, okay, but my expectations on Jonathan Quick are be at least as good as what Tristan Jari was.
Yeah,
And
that would make
Tristan
sense.
Jari was bad. Jean, he was bad. Like there'd be games I'd give up 15 shots on goal and lose 3-1.
Yeah.
Like,
So
so yeah, no, I've moved on. Good. I hope Tristan Jari wins, but I hope I beat the shit out of him every time we play Montreal and he starts. I won't mind that if I do that. But I'm also prepared for the 40 save shutout against me or something. So anyway, I mean that's Montreal. We'll move on. We'll move on. My therapy session starts in a couple hours. So okay, Ottawa, 35
I don't
million in cash,
lots of cash.
very little cap space. I have as much cap space as Nathan has cash.
Yes. Pretty much, yes. Maybe more.
It's about the same. It's pretty close. 50,000. Yeah. Uh, okay. I'll move on to team future. To be honest, I like my team future. I like the guys I've got here.
Basha, Bedinka, Fedotov.
Okay, Fedotov might not be coming. He just signed another contract in Russia. So
okay.
so Maverick
Um,
Lamoureux has done
Lamoureux,
nothing but get better.
yes. It's, you know what? For pick number 54, I think you might end up getting a steal with him. So, and I didn't
I,
believe that you would. So,
I've been quite happy with the progress. Linus Erickson, like I said, third round pick, like, oh my God, I'm still
yeah.
dreaming over that. Um, I don't know, like
Hunter
I've
Gill,
done
another
well
third
with my
round
pick.
pick. So I think you got some good quality potential with your third round. I don't see a lot of IN like Montreal did, but I think you got some potential.
Well, I think Andrew Bash is like I know I'm probably rose colored glasses here, but I think he's a top six forward in the NHL. Top six.
He's
If
got the
I'm wrong.
potential. So
But I've got a whole lot of good defensemen, and I like that. So okay, we'll go to finances next. Ovechkin's coming off the books in a couple years, just as his production is starting to wane.
but you know what? The good thing about like is once you have a good rating, it takes years before you lose your good rating. So
Yep.
if he has another 25, 30 goal season, he's gonna have his good rating just long enough until his contract ends.
Well, I think this year he can have a better rating. Oh, sorry, better number of goals because he's going to be playing with Nazem Kadri as opposed to Yanni Gord was his number one center the last 2 years and he had 30 goals.
Yeah,
Like if he's scoring 30 goals with Yanni Gord, he should do better with Nazem Kadri.
I agree.
So
So I think you've got yeah, well, he's got Enrique, Killorn, Granlund. So you've got some like good depth, I think, overall depth. No bad contracts. I don't see any bad contract. I love the Ekblad trade that you made. Love that trade.
oh
And
man,
the
like
Cogliano.
every day I miss Cole Perfetti. Every day. But I mean,
So,
5 years. I'm happy I made the trade, but I'm going to be kicking myself in 5 years when Perfetti's the number one line player. But yeah, I think that trade simply made my team better. So,
yeah. So no, it's you did make those two trades made your team much better.
but the Tristan Jarry for Nazem Kadri,
Yep.
yeah, I like that trade.
Yeah. So
We'll see about Dan Vladar. That was a gamble. I'm gambling that Vladar is going to be the starter in Calgary.
he's well. He,
Take the
it's gonna
ball
be
and
a
run,
battle.
Dan. What's that?
It's gonna be a battle. Like Wolf is not a sure thing,
No,
right?
that's yeah. I think Vladar will get more starts this year just because the kid, but we'll see. Just checking my Lions. They're winning, by the way.
Yes, they are. Well, I saw that they were winning 10-3 or something like that.
Yeah. So yay. Okay, so we'll go to my depth chart next. Is this the last team? No, we have Toronto, Tampa Bay, and Toronto.
Tampa Bay and Toronto after that.
Okay. I like my top three lines. And I feel guilty that Slavkovsky's on my fourth line. Like I may move him up just because. I don't know.
And yeah, you've got really good depth. And even Derek Ryan and Pustinen, like they're
Puustinen.
Pustinen,
Puustinen.
so
Fourth
I
round
think
draft pick.
it's yeah, you've got good depth at forward.
Yeah,
I like your depth at forward. And next year, Mercer's going to get better. Peterka is going to get better. Slavkowski is going to get better. So
Puustinen will be better. Hopefully, Pelche will be an NHL player. Crossing my fingers.
Lysel,
Well, Lysell better make the NHL this year. That's all I'm gonna
yeah.
say.
So I think you're in good shape at forward.
Yeah.
And
Defense.
defense, you know what? I think the only weakness that I see there is Radish. And he's been a regular in Tampa
freaking
Bay.
amazing last
He's been a
year in
regular in
Tampa
Tampa
Bay.
Bay. But like I love Luke Shen. I think as a bottom pairing defenseman, he's awesome. And Chikrin and Ekblad is a really good pairing. So yeah, I like your defense.
Aaron Radish should not be rated 78. Like it drives me nuts.
So
Drives me nuts. He played top pair minutes when they had injuries last year. And he was decent. Like he's not Cale Makar, but he had a 5-assist game. Like he's also not like the worst defenseman in Tampa Bay. And they've yeah. Sorry, I could rant all week on the rating. We'll go to goalies. Jonathan Quick.
Vladar Quick is where your weakness is. It's
I'm not arguing.
Yeah. So you're gonna have to take some of like you're gonna have to acquire a goalie.
Possibly.
Unless Quick has an amazing season or Vladar has an amazing season. I think like Vladar as a backup is not bad, and Quick as a backup is not getting bad. I just don't find you have a number one goalie.
I don't have the number one goalie. Like I'm seriously considering like 50-30 starts. Like it is possible Vladar plays better than Quick. And the sim just does stupid shit. So
yeah.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens because I just couldn't do Tristan Jarry anymore. I could not do it. Like it was.
But you got a number one center for Jerry.
Well, that's what I mean. Like it was a no-brainer when to make the trade.
Yeah.
It was a no-brainer to me.
So I think
because I
that's
couldn't, in my mind, I couldn't do worse at goalie. Like, and I don't think Jonathan Quick will be worse than what Tristan Jarry was for me. Like even if Jonathan Quick is bad, he was
Yep.
literally like the 26th worst starting goalie in the league last year.
Yeah.
Like if you look at the stats of the starting goalies, he was in the bottom.
He was awful.
Statistically, it's awful. Toronto's starting goalie was like as good as Tristan Jarry.
Yeah.
And I like to think I had a better lineup than Toronto. So I don't know why the sim gods shat upon Tristan Jarry the last 2 years, but they did. And we're going to Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay.
Connor
So he's got some
Bedard
cash.
coming to town.
He's got some cash and a little bit of cap space. Like
Yeah, like I'm
1.5.
surprised he spent as much money as he did. Like, is he thinking he can compete this year?
I think he wants to start to compete. Like he doesn't want like he was surprised last year on how well his team did, and he thinks he needs to start adding players to his draft picks, right?
Yep.
So
Well, he signed Patrick Kane too. Like he signed some guys.
yeah. So
Okay, so team future. I mean, we'll see a whole lot of good stuff here.
Yeah.
Although not as much good stuff because a lot of his has moved up into the league.
well, he's got Urov, Cristal,
Christel's
Walbert,
played well. Christel has played well.
Yaremchuk, Dvorsky, Simashev, Demidov, not as good. Kulish.
You don't like Demidov?
Yeah.
Demidov's got to be on the. Demidov, shame on him. Shame on your son. Demidov pops up on the Dauber
And
site.
Kulish should also.
Yuri Coolidge. Yeah, shame if he doesn't. Shame on him. Oh, shame.
Yeah. So
I'm not going to expect Semyon Der Argutsev to do it, but Ivan Demidov, come on.
yeah.
Although if somebody needs to check what Dauber says about Ivan Demidov, that probably shouldn't be in the league either.
So and yeah, Simashev also needs to be. So yeah, he's got some quantity and quality players coming up.
Yep. Okay. We'll go to finances. Like I said, he signed Patrick Kane 2 years, 10.8.
But next year, that's like he's gonna have to like he's losing 17.5, 23.5. So like he's almost at $30 million just in our NUFAs next year. And if you go down, he's got no RFAs to spend money on. So he's gonna have like $40 million to spend.
Yeah.
Towards the cap.
So. And you'll have Connor Bedard.
And you'll have Connor Bedard, a much better team, much better. And Minchikov's going to be amazing. So.
Yep.
He's still a couple of years away from competing, but yeah.
Maybe in the next couple of years, I'm going to start tanking my team because it'll be pointless to be trying to beat Tampa Bay and Montreal and
if you want to go to depth chart now.
Yep. He doesn't have Connor Bedard in here.
Yeah.
He doesn't have Patrick Kane. Joe Pavelski.
So.
Justin.
I know. I texted him this weekend, but he was away, so he didn't have a chance to set up his lineup. But Pavelski, Kane, go on his first line with Bedard, let's say. So A's, Tyler Johnson, Dickinson become his or David Perron ahead of Tyler Johnson, gives him a second line. And
He's
then
got
you have
he's got like a solid top nine, like a decent top nine.
that.
That I think is like if his team ended up being close to mine in the standings, I wouldn't be overly surprised.
Yeah. And his defense is pretty decent.
Yeah.
Carlson, Matheson, Alexiak, Goodbranson, Brandstrom, Minchikov. So it's his defense is decent, and then his goalie is really, really good.
Yeah. And like he needed another goalie, I think.
Yes.
I seem to remember him only having two in his
Yeah.
system. Did he sign another one? You know?
I don't think so.
Because I sent him a message saying, "Hey, you need minimum 3 goalies for the sim to work. So
Yeah.
get another one."
So he's going to need to get another goalie.
Yep.
So.
Okay, we'll go to Toronto, the last one in the division. Team Future. They've been building for a while, so
Yeah. And remember, people that are not here, that weren't here at that time, Toronto went all in and made it to the Stanley Cup final. Was it 4 years ago now?
uh, about then, like it was a while ago.
Yeah. So he went all in and now he's rebuilding.
I think it was
So
the COVID year. I think it was 2020.
yeah.
So it might have been 4 or 5. Like it might be this is the 5th year since then, maybe.
Yeah. Gauthier, Furcus, Mustard, and
Scroll down. Burkus has really
he's
jumped up.
yeah. Green Tree, good.
Getting
Good
Green
pickup
Tree at 18 was a
at
surprise.
18.
Yeah, he's got like there's components here. Like
Yeah.
there's the skeleton of a good solid team coming.
Yeah. And he's got some guys that are in his on his team there. They're coming up.
Okay, his big signing
Brady
this summer
Shea.
was Brady Shea. Yeah,
I like that signing. I know 9.5 is a big ticket, but I like the fact that he's got him for 5 years and the salary cap is going up and there's always somebody looking for defensemen.
yep.
So I think
I don't think this is a contract that's going to hurt him. And Brady
No.
Shea has always simmed very well.
so. But the rest of his defense, not very good. But he doesn't have any bad contract. Considering that he's rebuilding, like Ryan Johansson, yes, he's an $8 million contract, but he's not trying to win. Sean Monahan, not bad. And Mike Hoffman, his contract's going to come off the books next year because he doesn't look like he's going to get a contract in the NHL.
He doesn't even have a PTO, eh?
No. So
That's weird. Okay, so we'll go to his depth chart. I don't want to talk too much about his depth chart. I mean, his depth chart is. I mean, thanks for doing it, Mark.
yeah, thank you, Mark.
I mean, this is definitely. I just need a lineup. I need guys.
It's
Coronado,
Fantilli's coming
Krebs.
up.
Yeah, Coronado's going to be an NHLer.
Yep.
Krebs.
Fantilli, Krebs, Coronado.
See, Fantilli's an example of a rookie just getting shit on. Because Fantilli was decent last year. He should
Yep.
not be rated 78.
No,
He was
but-
better than that last year. I don't get it.
Yeah.
But anyway. And goalie, he's got actually a decent. Billy Huso is going to steal him some games.
Yeah.
But this is and well, now we're going to move on to our rankings
yes.
of these
So-
divisions. I'm going to stop the share here. I mean, Toronto is clearly going to be the 8th best team in the division.
I have Yeah, I have them 8.
Yeah, same. So do you want to just go through your list and then I'll go through my list of the top 8, how you see it unfolding? Okay,
Yeah.
the floor is yours, Mon
So
ami.
do you want me to share it?
Oh, do you want
Or-
to, because I don't have anything on mine. Like I was just gonna say it. I can
Okay.
always hold up
Okay.
my
No,
list.
because I only have a list that I typed out. So uh, I have Toronto finishing 8th in the division.
Yeah,
Team that's rebuilding, I think we all agree, and they're going to be part of the bottom 3 teams in the league, in my opinion. And that's
I
what he's
agree.
trying to do.
And
So
yes,
Mark's not going to be surprised.
we are
Uh,
the
I,
same.
Detroit, I have 7th.
Same.
Okay. And Detroit is better than they were last year, but I still believe they're going to be 7 because every other team in front of Detroit got better this year.
Yeah.
6th, I have me, Florida,
Same.
and a reason is because my defense is not as good.
I think your biggest worry should be Freddie Anderson stealing you too many games.
But you know what? I'm looking to my players to develop, as I said earlier. So
Yep.
that's this part of developmental season for me. At number 5 and out of the playoffs, the Boston Bruins. And the
I'm gonna
reason
say
why,
same. I'm gonna say same.
it, the reason is because I think that his goalie is not going to steal him enough games to make up for the poor defense that he has.
Yep. Like I think, and again, I've said this countless times. The problem with Boston at evaluating them now is day one of the season, they're not going to have the same lineup.
In a month, he will have a completely different line. But I'm
So
going with what I'm seeing right now.
yeah, and
Because-
I don't see Boston making the playoffs.
And the reason why I have him here also is because he's going to have to take from his forwards to build his defense because he doesn't have any. I don't see any value in his futures, and he doesn't have any draft picks, and he doesn't have any cash. So he's going to have to take a quality forward, to improve his defense.
And
So
and if he's not making the playoffs this year, I wonder if he does like a Gage, totally tear it down. But the problem with him doing that is he won't take draft picks.
no, I don't see him doing that at all. I
Well,
see him because this team that he's got right now is not going to be the same at Christmas.
well, for sure.
He
Well,
might
I'm
at
pretty sure John
Christmas
Carlson will still be there.
at Christmas his defense might be a strength and his forwards are probably going to be a weakness.
Could be. Okay,
So
so after Boston,
at number 4, I have Tampa Bay
name.
because I believe that his defense is pretty decent. His goalie is really good, and the forwards are going to score enough to get him enough wins. But I'm not sure if they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to be they're on the bubble for me as a playoff team.
I mean, it'll really depend on what that fourth and fifth place teams in the Metro are.
Yep.
But like he's got a lot there. He's
Mm-hmm.
got a lot there. Like if the next two teams, like Tampa Bay and the next one we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
I was absolutely surprised at how much more improved they were.
Yep. So was I.
So yeah,
So
I have to have Tampa Bay ahead of Boston, and like sorry Boston, but I think Tampa Bay is just, and they got Connor Bedard, and he ain't getting worse.
yeah.
It's a shame he's
And
only
Bedard,
rated 81.
Patrick Kane.
Okay, next
Montreal Canadiens.
Holy shit, right? Holy shit. We both have Montreal making the playoffs this year.
Yeah. And I'm not talking about last year's Atlantic Division making the playoffs. I'm thinking that you're like, I have you ahead of where you were. You're gonna have to get more points than you got last year to be ahead of Montreal.
And it's going to be harder to get them.
Yep.
Like
It's
honestly, like I could see myself, and I have myself second. I could see myself also finishing on the playoffs easily.
yeah. Um, Montreal, I have you second also. Um, Montreal, and if this is not the Atlantic Division of the last 2, 3 years, it's
No,
much better,
no,
much better.
and the people that think that it's going to be like a just stomp all over the Atlantic, you ain't seen nothing yet, because
No.
it's it's gonna be some tough times.
Yep.
Okay,
And then Ottawa, I have you ahead because I think your forwards and your defense are better, and but your goalie is your weakness. But I believe that you're going to be able to trade for a goalie. So,
I'm not sure. I'm not sure that I will.
no,
Like
no, but
maybe,
like if you only have
maybe.
one weakness, it's easier to find a solution. And Jonathan Quick is not that bad. He's just not a number one goalie in my opinion, and it's not.
No, absolutely, he is
So
not.
so I have you second because the rest of your team is strong enough to be first. Your goalie is not going to be strong enough to be first.
Like everything you say, I agree with. It's just if Tristan Jari could do it with the shit he was putting up, I just don't see Jonathan Quick being worse than Tristan Jari. So,
Yeah,
and my backup goalie is definitely better this year. I've run with just AHL guys as my backup goalies the last few years. Vladar's at least an NHL guy, so I
yeah,
should be I should be better, I think. But we'll
I
see.
agree.
The sim quite often tells us different things.
Yeah,
And we both have Buffalo as the number
number one.
one team.
Yeah,
But I don't want to be a Debbie Downer here, but a scenario where Buffalo doesn't win the division is definitely possible. And I'm not saying that my team would be the best option to pass him.
no,
Like I could see Tampa Bay or Montreal, either one of those, finishing first or second in the division ahead of Buffalo. I
yeah.
like I
I I completely agree. I think his top two lines are decent. I think he doesn't have the depth, and I think his top four defensemen are decent. And man, well,
I think
is
his top 60 is good. I think he
yeah,
just doesn't have a top pair D.
yeah. And Shesterkin is the best goalie in the NHL, and the Sim loves him.
Yeah.
Sim loves him, so
Well,
it's and they should.
they should. If he retains the title for the what is it, fourth year in a row or something like that, like it's been a while.
Yeah,
If he retains it, it's because Shesterkin was Shesterkin.
yeah,
If he doesn't, Shesterkin was human, and Hyman and Meyer did not produce. Like, and it's not. It's just the gap has gotten way smaller in the
yeah.
Atlantic
So
because the bottom has come up.
last year Buffalo had 102 points, Boston had 95, and Ottawa had 82.
82 when I made the playoffs.
Yes. So
82 ain't getting it done this year, folks.
I think it's going to be much closer to the 100.
I think to make that third spot, you're going to have to be over 95 points.
I agree.
And I am not fully confident that my team is like a 98-point team.
Yeah.
I'm not. I I hope so. I do believe I'm right now the second best team, but if you told me, Steve, I've come from the future and you finish fifth, okay.
Yeah.
So
I think the top 5 teams and even 6, I'm gonna put myself in there, are much better than they were last year. And I think 2 to 6 or 3 to 6 could change.
5 teams in the division will score more than what I scored last year to make the playoffs.
Yep.
I'll predict that now. 5 teams will score over 82 points. That's a low bar, but and maybe 6. Like again, I think it's Detroit and Toronto are the only 2 that are like
Yep.
I can't see a world where they make it.
So as I said earlier, and I can't remember if I said it to you before the show or on the show, I think that Detroit has a better team now than they did last year, but they're gonna have less points than they had last year, and they had 68 points last year. Doesn't mean that they're not improving, just that everybody else in the division improved.
Everybody got way better. And that's the one thing that I look at my team and go, okay, my team's better. I only scored 82 points and I made the playoffs last year. I need to score a lot more points to make the playoffs this year. And that's the part of it I go, yeah.
Where are you going to get them?
Where am I going to get them? And it
Where
might
are you
be
gonna get
Freddie
them?
Anderson leading the charge in Ottawa after he sneaks out of Florida one night.
So
I may have to kidnap him.
yeah.
You wouldn't do Freddie Anderson straight up for Jonathan Quick, right?
Let me think for a second.
What if I mowed your lawn? Negotiating on a live podcast, not a good
Yeah.
idea.
No.
Okay, so that's it for the Atlantic. Next week, we'll do the Metro, and we will have a first time on the show with us.
Will we?
We've never had Mark on the show, have we?
Mark,
New Jersey Mark.
oh no, we ain't never had New Jersey
I
Mark.
don't believe we have.
Toronto Mark.
Yeah, we've had Toronto Mark on, but I think for a first time, we're gonna have New Jersey Mark, and that's awesome. Like I'm looking forward to a new handsome face to look at. I mean, it's been a
Yeah.
lot for me to try to hold this down
I
for
know.
all these years. Now
So,
I'll be able to share the work.
no. I'm just looking to see if we have any. Do you see any comments? Because I don't see.
No, I don't think we've had very many viewers at all, actually.
3 watching now. So
Oh,
that would
that's
be
good.
me, you, and
I'm guessing Mig.
or Nick, because Nick
Oh,
said put a thumbs up earlier.
okay. So
So
yeah, next week the Metro and beyond.
yeah. So if you can, guys, let us know if you like this, that we spend more time on each division, and we go in depth on each team.
Oh, Zach told me it's him watching.
Oh, okay, well, good. So yeah, so
Thank you, Zach.
let us know if you like it, if you want us to change anything. If you disagree with us, please let us know.
Trevor, we're talking to you, Trevor. Trevor D.
Yes.
Did you see my comment to his
Yeah.
comment?
Yeah, I loved it.
My greatest
Loved it.
meme ever. I
Yeah,
may retire from doing memes now.
I know. I love it. And I love the fact that he said, you guys talk about me enough, you don't need to talk about me. So I loved it.
Well, and I don't think we talked about him an unfair amount today. I think Like, I don't think we were overly critical. I think,
No,
if anyone, I
continue.
feel like we were probably, like, I don't want to say more critical of Buffalo, but I do feel like we talked down Buffalo more than anyone, just because of, I think their team has gotten worse.
Mhm.
But I don't feel like he's done a bad job. In
No,
general,
no.
the Atlantic,
Hey,
thumbs up.
he just won a Stanley Cup
Yeah,
again.
where we all want to.
Yes. Isn't he
He's
the only two-time Stanley Cup winner?
no, he's the only one currently in the league.
Oh, okay. The
The
guy
other
that we
one
don't
left.
talk about anymore.
Yeah, the other one left the league.
Okay. So we won't talk about him. I
Yeah.
heard that he threatened the commissioner in the other league we're in to quit.
Who, the same guy?
Yeah.
Well, he did that in our league, and they said, "See you later." I mean,
So
he's like, "I want to be able to do this thing that goes against the rules, and if you don't let me do this thing that's against the rules, I'm leaving." And they're like, "Okay, bye."
have a good day.
Anyway,
Okay.
let's wrap it up there and
Yes.
say goodbye to Zach, who's our only viewer right now. But I'm
Thank you very
sure
much, Zach, for
we had
watching.
lots of views last time. Like, I don't know. I hope we get lots of views again.
Yeah,
Because, I'm waiting for the checks from YouTube to start rolling in.
I know. I'd like to
We're coming
retire.
up close to 1,000 total career view watches, like people watching.
No way.
We're coming up to 1,000. We were over 850 the last time I looked.
Of all of our shows on YouTube, we're
Combined,
approaching 1,000.
1,000 views. Yeah.
Holy crap, people have nothing else to do, eh? To watch us?
I mean, it's sad that we do this, but
Hey, I would be doing this even if I wasn't being taped. I just like to talk about hockey.
I'm with you. I'm with you. Like, the
So
fact that it's
I'm
great.
just taping it for the benefit of the guys in our league, but I can't believe 800 people have watched our shows.
We have had not 800 people. We have had our shows
800
watched
views.
a combined amount of 850
Okay.
times.
Wow.
So yes,
That's amazing.
it is. So, and that's only since we've been on YouTube.
Yes. Look at
That's
that.
not counting all the thousands before on Facebook.
Yeah,
Probably.
that is pretty amazing.
So,
So
please stay in
again,
here.
I'm going to put a shame the all the owners in the DCHL that are not subscribed to our show. Like, subscribe. Less
It's what
than
makes
half.
the magic happen.
Less than half have subscribed. That's sad. No.
Okay,
And
I'm
go,
gonna wrap it here. I'm gonna wrap
okay,
it.
go do your housekeeping.
Well, and I want to watch some of the Lions game. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna lie.
No. I'm talking about DCHL
Oh,
owners. Do your
DCHL
housekeeping.
people. Apparently, some people have while we've been on. So yeah, yes. So we will see you next week,
Yes.
probably around the same time,
Yep.
presumably, and we'll be talking Metro with New Jersey Devils GM. See you then.